Hi, everybody. I'm Nina Mosier. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Power for Parkinsons, and I want to welcome you to our members chat today for Power for Parkinsons. I want you to say hello to Polly Caprio.
Hello, everybody. Well, thank you for having me, Nina.
Of course. Oh my gosh. Well, I thought it would be fun for everyone to get to know you a little bit more. We haven't done anything like this in quite a while, and I think there's some little tidbits people might like to learn about you.
Uh-oh.
I know. No, they're all great. They're all great. Well, I thought we'd just start to think about how long you've been with Power for Parkinsons. Do you remember when you first?
Whoa, yeah. So I joined Power for Parkinsons in 2015.
Wow.
And we had moved here from another state, and I've always taught fitness classes. It's just something I've always enjoyed doing and always felt very passionate about. And I was kind of exploring different options here in Austin about places that I might teach some classes, and I somehow came across Power for Parkinsons and contacted you, and then you contacted me, and we went back and forth a little bit. And I remember I took a class. My first class was one of Lauren Lewis's classes at Covenant, and I right away recognized that it was something beautiful and really well done, and great people, everyone. It just drew me in from the moment I stepped in the door.
Well, it seems like you have been a natural ever since you started with us. But I mean, you just came in, and Polly's been teaching mostly, well, you've taught all over, but then you kind of are out at Lakeway, which is a little bit outside of Austin, but you've subbed in a number of places and taught in a number of places. And since you began, you kind of developed your own format, a format that we feel, really strongly about, and that it seems like people are really excited about, the brain and body format. So could you just talk about kind of how that came to be? What inspired you? How did you get there?
As I mentioned, I recognized something very beautiful and wonderful about Power for Parkinsons when I first went to take that first class taught by Lauren Lewis, and then I got to know other people with the program. And one of the things about Power for Parkinsons is Nina and Susan, they've designed the organization to encourage us instructors to be creative and to develop our own styles, because we all have our own individual styles and strengths and different things that we're bringing into the program. And I think that kind of set the tone for the creativity and the ability to come up with kind of go in a direction that I felt comfortable with going. So, the atmosphere for that was laid out with the organization. And then the thing about when you teach fitness classes, it's a give and take, a relationship kind of thing. And so we as instructors, we get up there and have some ideas for exercise, and then we're always watching all of our participants and seeing, well, what works, what doesn't work, and we can tell a lot just by watching everybody.
Right.
And then also we get a lot of feedback from people. They will talk to us too, like, hey, this was really great, or this I found awkward, or whatever. And so it was just a way to try to build a class structure for me that made sense, that I thought worked and helped. And it's always a work in progress. It's never really at a final point or anything. But that's kind of, I guess, how I developed it. And for me, I'm comfortable doing patterns with exercises. I like some level of mental engagement, counting things out, maybe some rhythms to things. And so whether we use music or we're counting things out, I try to develop some kind of rhythm that will sync with the brain and make sense regarding movement.
Right, right. And you have always had this very strong connection to music. Like, you've always, since I've known you, talked about your love of music and how important you think it is for
Yes.
exercise and teaching. So why don't you let everyone know, like, what is your connection with music?
I
Because it's a
love
very
music.
deep connection, right?
Well, it is. I grew up in a family where there was a lot of music. My parents were both professional musicians. It was back in the big band era. My dad is a trombonist, and my mom sang with two of her sisters. And so growing up, we just had music in the house all the time. And I think I just really enjoyed music from a young age and responded to it. So even to this day, that's one of my favorite things to do is listen to music, and I appreciate all different genres of music. I love it.
Well, the way you've been able to integrate not only music and the beat, and your poly parties that everyone has learned to love. There's so much fun.
Oh, I try to keep it fun. You know, exercise, that's one of the main things when we think about teaching an exercise class. I mean, you always want it to be safe, and you always want it to be effective, you know, accomplish the goals from what you want with the exercises that we're doing. And we also want to keep it fun, because the most important thing about exercise from everything that I know is consistency, like really sticking with exercising long term, every day exercising. And so the more fun it is, the more likely people are not going to drop out. You know, they won't walk away. So we want it to be fun, we want it to be doable, and so that's kind of what I think about when I walk into a class.
Well, I think from my perspective, and I don't know about our audience's perspective, but you have this like unique way of, with this big smile, just starting a routine where you don't think it's really going to be that hard, but before you know it, like just before this interview, I'm already like sweating and you look so calm and so relaxed, and you sneak in those challenges, and it is really fun. It's very fun.
Yeah, I'm a little sneaky in that way, but try to make it fun, and make it fun and doable. But all of a sudden you realize, wait, I am exercising, and I think exercise can be like that. It just makes it more palatable.
Yeah, well, you definitely do a good job at that today. So let's see. So I have another question for you that I always think like you are so prepared for your classes. And I'm just like, what goes into the planning of your class?
Wow, a lot. It may not seem like it, but a lot goes in. And what I find is even a few days before I have a class, my subconscious mind is working on exercises. I might be going out for a jog one day, or I might be waking up from a good night's sleep, and all of a sudden I realize my brain is working on different ideas for the classes. Just it's something that's always kind of in the back of my mind, and then it comes out at different times like that. So, and see, when I teach a class with people, you know, in a group, when we're actually all physically present, I have the luxury of being able to watch everybody and react to people and make changes and adjust and this and that. And when we're doing these classes online, the live stream, we don't have that luxury. So it's like when I come into a class, all right, whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it. And then, you know, and then we do rely on the comments that people give us in the chat line and in the comments section if they're watching a replay. And those comments are immensely helpful in so many ways. They're constructive, and a lot of times they're very encouraging to us too, but they really are our only feedback loop, our only dialogue, that give and take that is so important with teaching a class, because it's not supposed to be a, you know, I'm up here and you guys just follow me. It's supposed to be more of a give and take, and that's how we're able to do more of that in our in-person classes. But I do try to prepare and have a little bit of variety. I never want it to be exactly the same, and yet there's certain things I always am trying to address in a class, you know, with different exercises.
Yeah, well, you seem to like really cover, you know, just the full body. You always have that cognitive component. And can I just show the audience kind of one
Sure.
your notes?
Oh, sure, we can go to the notes.
Well, no, your cheat sheet.
Oh, my cheat sheet.
Cheat
Oh,
sheet.
okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So, I just like to show these.
I bring in notes. I can never remember everything, so I have to have
These
notes.
are only a couple sheets of Polly's notes, and we had done one before with Lauren, and she has like a whole other language, but you both, like, I don't
Right,
know.
it's a
I'm going to
different
walk a little bit. Oh, you can see? Okay, great.
Like, this makes sense to me,
But
yeah.
Polly comes in with about, I don't know, 8 or 10 sheets of paper. So you at the end, she throws them away. You don't keep them.
I throw them out.
Every week.
I recycle them. I do recycle
yes,
them.
she recycles them. And so every week there's something new. And I'm just reading this top one that says last week fun. So bringing back some of the old fan favorites so we remember what we were doing. But
Yeah.
well, it's really amazing how you pull it all together.
Somehow, I don't know, at least we try. And I would say that probably two of the things I think about when we do the exercises is I want to get good blood flow throughout the body. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. I want us to feel like we're exercising, and I want movement to happen, all right? So it's really about movement, and I want it to be doable, you know, even if it means people are modifying because they have shoulders that don't like to go up overhead. Everything should be doable and then fun. And then other than that, it's combining all different kinds of exercises to address different symptoms of Parkinson's and whatever else we feel that we need to do.
Yeah, and we often don't say that your class, like you don't know necessarily that your class is high intensity, but it is. I mean, you get our heart rate up.
It is enough. And with Parkinson's, from what I've read, they want heart rates to be up at an intensity of at least 70% of the maximum heart rate, and there are different formulas to determine what those heart rates are. But I know for me and my age group, I need to get my heart rate up to at least 113 beats per minute to reach that 70%, which technically is in the moderate range, moderate to vigorous. And so that's something we try to do because they know that intensity with exercise is especially important for people with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
So we do try to get the intensity up.
Well, you do a really good job of that. So another thing, not one other thing, but another thing I wanted to bring up is about how creative you are. And you know, we've been able to edit some videos more recently, and you bring in a lot of friends into your classes. You're a lot of imagery. And I just wanted to see, like, where you dream those things up and what.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I think sometimes when we have visuals or a name for something or the imagery, it kind of activates what the name implies, imagery, and it activates the imagination. And the more we can incorporate all the senses, all the brain, the body, the emotions, the movement. And I actually have a funny story from one of ours where we first started. I think we started stepping over an armadillo when we started doing that exercise. All right, let's step over an armadillo because we're in Texas and we have the 9-banded armadillo here. So it's a friend, a local friend. And I noticed on one of the comments from somebody who had watched one of the replays, she wrote saying that she could not figure out why her husband, every time he was getting out of his car, he would say armadillo, and then he'd get out of the car and come in. And then she happened to be in the same room with him one time when he was joining us with one of our live stream classes, and sure enough, we stepped over the armadillo, and she said she had to laugh. She goes, that's where he got it. And so to know that it translated into something in real life, I found very rewarding, actually. And then we also get wonderful questions from people too when we introduce the armadillo. And Paul and John in the UK, they left a comment. Well, tell us more about the armadillo, because we don't have those in the UK. And I think people, we just have a natural affinity for animals. We're just fond of animals, whatever they might be. And so whether it be the porcupine, and we want to make sure we get our legs up high so we don't get stuck by the porcupine, or we don't want to knock over a bucket of paint. Imagery just seems to help activate the imagination, and Nancy uses that a lot with dance
Yes.
classes, squeezing a tube of toothpaste, and it's just a useful tool when it comes to exercises, and I think it can add an element of fun to the exercise.
Absolutely. Well, so we kind of prepared a little something because you did something really special for your kids when they were growing up. So Polly, I'm going to tell everybody, is also an artist. You can draw, and she's really clever, as you might expect. And so she used to write some lunch notes to her kids. And I'm not sure, I think we might be able to pop this up on the screen. But Polly, I'm not sure, do we have this one? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you can read that, but do you want to read it? They're so clever.
Okay, as you can see, I would just make little cartoon lunch notes and put them in our kids' lunch boxes along with their food. The first one, okay, do you like my hair? Do you like my shape? Should I wear a dress or should I wear a cape? And then, you know, a little heart at the bottom and a little cartoon. I don't know, it's just kind of fun, I guess.
So cute. I love this one, the bird, with the bird.
Okay, and we did have a pet cockatiel.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, we had all sorts of animals. Shall I fly today or take the train? It's so hard to decide with my little bird brain. I suppose I'll take the train just in case there's rain. So again, forgive any of you who are into poetry, forgive me for the atrocious poetry, but we had fun with these. It was just, you get the idea.
All right, well, should we go, maybe we can pop, yeah, we can pop up a couple more. How about the carrots? Oh. I'll read that. Yes, they are orange, and yes, they are good for you, full of vitamin A, with the cutest carrot.
Oh.
And this apple.
Yeah, sweet and crisp, terrific snack, great for baking. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Hi. You know, that it's
So
they're just fun. The little lunch notes, and yeah, my college studies were public health, so I also have the interest in health and everything. So kind of I guess I kind of combined it with the lunch notes.
yeah, well, I just think about those. When I found out about the lunch notes, I kind of figured where some of this was coming from.
And I actually have hundreds at home because I made them, I don't know, I think for 8 years or something for,
Oh, wow.
yeah, for the kids. So we have hundreds of them at home, and they're kind
really
of fun
incredible.
to look at sometimes.
Incredible, yeah, they're so fun. So, but that, I want to just bring in one more. We have a lot of show and tells today, don't we?
We do.
So I had to ask Polly to bring in her lunch notes that I have just absolutely love. And apparently, while she was doing that, she happened to come by some
Yeah, this
old,
was in the same box. So
yeah, this was in the same box. So this was, Polly used to, well, were you a model? Or a
No.
spokesperson?
No, but I was never.
Well, this takes you back to the, I don't know, can we see this on here? So Polly was on, this was a Shape magazine?
Yeah,
Shape
yeah.
magazine. So
This is many years ago, you guys.
she's been exercising for a long time. And that was one, there's a bunch of fun pictures in here, which maybe we can share, but I wanted to show this. Can I show this?
Yes.
She even got to be on Nike did a special 4-piece or 5-page ad where they were trying to show women from different fields that exercise, real women. And Polly, this is Polly, in the Nike ad. So she's been doing this. This is Polly, freelance artist in a Nikolon anorak. Oh.
Yeah, Nike, this was many, many years ago. Nike wanted to do some new advertising without using models. So they brought in real life people and they canvassed the Chicago area. That's where I lived at the time. And they brought in different fitness instructors and they chose a few of us to be part of this campaign for fitness using real people, not models. And so I had the opportunity to be part of that, and that was fun.
And you did. That looks like a lot of fun, and that you did a great job. It's fun to see you doing that stuff. Yeah. Well, I think I had another. I don't know. Since you have been teaching for so long now, and you've with us, and you've just made such inroads for people with Parkinson's and beautiful connections with people. Do you have maybe a special participant story? I know you've met so many, but...
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
There's something about, there's something about this whole community that, I don't know, I feel like once I walked in the door, it's kind of like I can't leave because it's everybody. It's kind of like asking me what's my favorite color. I can't give you a favorite color because I like all the colors and I like how things interrelate and go back and forth. One of the reasons I think I was drawn to working with people with Parkinson's and exercise as a specialty was my director from where I used to work in a different state. He had Parkinson's and he was in the fitness field, and he was a wonderful human being, Barry. And I think that's kind of what drew me in, you know. But I just find that the people are amazing, all of them.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege to be part of the community. So.
Well, we're really grateful for everything that you've done and all your creativity in so many different ways, and your fun exercises every week. It's been really, really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess, do you have any special tips for people, for their health, for people with Parkinson's, for anyone, for just the healthy aging? I know you've talked about some of that already.
Yeah, the body in motion stays in motion, so we want to be the bodies that stay in motion, right? We want to exercise a lot, and even I know all of you exercise a lot already. You're already committed to the daily exercise, and from everything I've read, all the research that's out there, they say the more exercise, the better. So if there's a way you can do more and find the things that you like to do and really be committed, continue to be committed to it. That's probably one of the big things. Always drinking lots of water, being well hydrated, that's another big thing. Trying to keep the fun in the exercise, and gosh, I think those are probably the main things.
Yeah.
Do you have any other ideas or suggestions?
No, I think those are all great. Those are great. And you always give so many tips about the exercising 150 minutes, which you just said before in your class.
And smiling every day, and maybe putting on music and dancing at home. Make your own fun. You know, if you're not in an exercise class, if you're putting dishes away, put music on and add some little steps, you know. Always take things to the next level and add the fun to it. And yeah, keep being on the chat line and connected with everybody here. My dream, actually, Nina, would be one day to have a class where everybody from all around the world that we have, in the same room
Oh.
together, where they could see each other's faces and smile, and we could all be together working out, and we have that with the energy of what we have online, and it's something, but wow, I dream of the day when we'd all be together.
Okay.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. But I know that sometimes, like with exercise, things can be kind of arduous. You know, if you say, okay, I've got to do, this is, you know, good for me, I've got to do 20 repetitions of an exercise, whatever it might be, right? And that can be kind of boring if we're just counting things out. So then I feel like as an instructor, it's my job to say, well, okay, I can get us to do 20 of these, but how can we put the fun into it? How can we put the birthday party into it, right? And whether it be mixing it up or attaching different words or letters, which is a form of multitasking, which is really important when we train our minds and our bodies. It's like, how can we make it fun? We can do it. This is a good exercise for us. How can we make it fun? And how can we add like a rhythm that might help?
Yeah, well, you are really good at putting that all together. So.
We try to have fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing, though, that I have to say for Nina, like you always, again, you encourage us to try new things. And that means if you try new things, you're going to make mistakes a lot, too. Or you're going to like, okay, that one didn't work so well. Or I know I did an exercise one time, and Robert, you left a message saying, wait, there was something about it that it was awkward, there was a disconnect, you were saying this, but you were doing something different. And I was so glad that you put that in the comments, because I looked at it again and I listened to the verbal cues, I watched what we were doing, and I totally understood what you were getting at with that, but I hadn't noticed it until you pointed it out. So we do keep trying new things, and yes, we make mistakes all the time, but that's okay. We have to be able to know that when we're making mistakes, that's how we learn. That's part of the process, and also we have to be able to laugh at ourselves.
Absolutely.
Which I'm used to that.
Well, I know, and you always are trying new things, and I can't even remember a time you messed up, but I guess if anyone's going to catch it, it will be Robert.
Yeah, Robert, you're good.
Well, let's see. Oh, Grace was amazed you knew her background.
Well,
we
read all the comments that you, Grace, I remember you, again, since we don't have you here in person, we read the comments and we take them to heart. And there was one time you said something about one of the exercises, it might have been this one, where we're going across, or maybe it was this one, and you're like, oh, that exercise helps me really reset or kind of like get into a mode. The comments they mean the world to us. And Heidi, oh my goodness, Heidi, every time she writes any kind of comment, it's something that encourages all of us and everybody else who's out there. And we live for all the comments. We really do take them to heart. We really do.
Absolutely.
They help us, and we take them.
Well, you'll like this one, because Jay wants to know what your favorite ice cream flavor is.
Oh, I love ice cream.
Now you're really getting personal.
That is personal. My favorite. So we have a local grocery store chain here, and called H-E-B, and they have the best vanilla ice cream. It's called 1905, so it's like an old-fashioned ice cream with the real vanilla flavor, and it is hands down my favorite ice cream. I always have a half gallon in the fridge, and usually it's not full. It's usually like, I love vanilla. Yeah, how about you guys? What are your favorite ice creams?
Well, I'm always like on the chocolate side, I have to say. And yeah, I'm like a Ben and Jerry's kind of person.
Oh,
so
like a rich
lot,
chocolate with chocolate chips in it?
Yeah, or something, different. Yes, chocolate chips or cookie dough or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I have to have my ice cream almost every day.
Nice. Oh, that's hard to believe you have it every day.
Well, just a little, but it's something I grew up with.
So favorite ice cream, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know your favorite vegetable too. We have to have it like the
balance?
The balance. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it was great talking to you and
fun
learning
talking with
all
you.
these like little special.
Can I
facts
ask
about
you like about one of your hobbies? Because I don't know if people know.
I don't know. What is that?
It begins with the letter P, and we love Power for Parkinsons. Polly, we love P, right? So
Oh, yes.
okay, Nina, I don't know if you guys know this about her or not. She's a puzzle wizard. Puzzles, puzzles, puzzles. And we're talking about bookshelves full of puzzles, and they all have like a minimum of 1,000 pieces, and she always has one in progress. And I love that. I don't know if any of you are into puzzles, but will you tell us a little bit about your puzzles?
Well, I don't even know what to say, but I did puzzles with my family on vacation growing up, but then hadn't done them for a long time. But with the pandemic, that's what I did all the time, was puzzles. I don't even know how many I have. I have cabinets, as you know. I showed Polly and our staff. I have so many puzzles, and it's just a good mental challenge for me. And so I don't have to look at a screen. I don't look at my phone or the TV or anything. So it's just something that I can do. And I also love like word games and all that kind of stuff. So
I think that's a fun hobby. I really do.
Yeah,
I think that's so interesting. I love it. It's inspired me. I want to start a puzzle too.
Oh, well, I'll have to give you one. I'll bring you one next week. And I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Polly and how her brain works.
Different kind of puzzle, but anyway. But
it is a puzzle, but it's amazing. Yeah.
But I'm so glad you all joined us today. I hope it was fun to listen to us in a different way. We're not exercising. We should be exercising at the same time, right? Like add a few in. I'm a knitter, so I love these hand exercises.
Yeah, those are so good.
They're really good for knitting.
And your little angel claps.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
Anyway.
And the pickles and popcorn.
Yes, again, more imagery, right? That just seems to work. But you all are amazing, and we love you all, and we're so glad that you're here. And thanks for sitting in on this conversation, and keep exercising.
Yes, stay in touch. We'll see you in class soon. Bye.
Bye.